On the morning of July 7, a construction crew working for a water and sewer line company was involved in an incident that tragically highlighted the importance of OSHA's confined space safety protocols. At around 11 a.m., workers were attempting to remove a 24-inch rubber plug from a sewer pipe located within a 24-foot deep wet well. The crew first attempted to pull the plug using an attached nylon rope, but due to pressure caused by wastewater entering the well, the plug was wedged tightly into a T-shaped fitting. Without performing any atmospheric testing, one employee climbed down into the well with a crowbar to manually dislodge the plug, unaware of potentially hazardous gases that could be present. After struggling to remove the plug, the employee attempted to climb back up the ladder just 2 feet from the surface. However, the worker lost consciousness and fell back into the well. Recognizing the emergency, a second employee descended the ladder to help but also lost consciousness upon entering the space. A third employee also attempted a rescue, but this worker lost consciousness as well. All 3 workers tragically died due to asphyxiation from hydrogen sulfide gas, which had accumulated in the confined space. OSHA's investigation into the incident uncovered multiple serious safety violations, many of which underscored the importance of adhering to confined space entry protocols designed to protect workers from atmospheric and physical hazards. The employer failed to designate a competent person to identify, evaluate, and test confined spaces on site. A competent person could have recognized the permit-required confined space, assessed potential hazards, and ensured that it was safe before allowing workers to enter. OSHA also found that the employer did not evaluate potential hazards within the confined space before allowing workers to enter. Had this evaluation been conducted, the employer might have identified the potential presence of hydrogen sulfide gas and other atmospheric hazards in the wet well. Additionally, the wet well's opening, measuring nearly 8 feet by 6 feet, was left unguarded, exposing workers to a serious fall risk. OSHA fall protection standards require employers to secure confined space openings with guardrails or temporary barriers to prevent such falls. Under federal law, employers must test for breathable oxygen levels, flammable gases, and potential toxic contaminants before allowing employees to enter a confined space. However, in this case, the employer failed to conduct any such testing. As a result, the workers were exposed to lethal levels of hydrogen sulfide gas without any warning. OSHA also requires employers to purge, inert, flush, or vent confined spaces to remove or control atmospheric hazards. No such measures were taken to address the presence of hydrogen sulfide, contributing directly to the workers' exposure to lethal concentrations of the gas in the well's hazardous atmosphere. Employers must also ensure that emergency rescue equipment is readily available when employees are working in confined spaces. OSHA found that the company failed to have any such equipment on hand, violating federal safety requirements. Without this equipment, the workers' colleagues could not effectively attempt a safe rescue. OSHA also requires employers to develop written protocols for emergency rescue, medical treatment, and protection from unauthorized rescue attempts. In this case, no such protocols were in place, leading to an unplanned rescue attempt by untrained personnel, which ultimately resulted in further needless fatalities. Importantly, an entry permit detailing compliance with OSHA's confined space requirements should have been prepared before entry. The lack of a documented permit violated federal OSHA safety standards and underscored the absence of systematic hazard identification and control. The employer also failed to provide the necessary confined space safety training to help workers understand the risks and proper protocols associated with entering confined spaces. Without this training, employees remained unaware of the hazards of confined space entry and the measures necessary to mitigate them. Finally, OSHA cited the employer for failing to provide training specific to each worker's role in confined space entry, including the responsibilities of entrants, attendants, and supervisors. This lack of role-specific training left employees ill-prepared to safely manage confined space work or respond effectively in an emergency. This tragic case serves as a critical reminder of the essential nature of OSHA's confined space safety requirements in the construction industry. Proper planning, atmospheric testing, effective training, and the use of rescue equipment are vital to preventing fatal incidents in confined spaces. Employers must take these precautions seriously to protect their workers and avoid preventable tragedies like this one.